Okay, folks, now that we've finished all of the training for the tech room, I thought I'd just take a couple of minutes and just go through some things more along the lines of a review. And hopefully you guys aren't all in panic mode right now because I think you guys did pretty well. But it's like anything else. You got to practice, you got to play with it, which is why I started with only a few apps and a few things for us to do and remember. So I just thought I'd take a few minutes here and put together this thing as kind of a overall reminder and some additional things to think of. So kind of think of it as a Cliff Note wrap-up, if you will, okay? So first of all, I just wanted to remind everybody how you go about getting access to additional tutorials. This could be for either yourself, other faculty, or students also have the ability to get this as well. So again, into Blackboard, along these tabs at the top, you want to find My Files. Click on My Files. That opens it up to institution content over here on the left. Click on institution content. Most of you are only going to have two choices. You don't have this DS store. You would click on BC System. And then these are all the different programs. And EdTech and Resources. And then you have video tutorials. This first one here, Google Drive, is for particular video tutorials I created for some folks who were early adopters. This is even before Baker made the official call to go that way, but there were some people out there that were using Google Drive for sharing some files and folders and having people work together on collaborative projects, and so I showed them how to do that, and I created 4 tutorials. The using apps is where you're going to find all kinds of things that we talked about first. Please read this first. This is just a Word document. It's going to give you a little background on what's in here. And all the things we talked about, plus other ones that we didn't get to, is there as well. One of them I did want to point out, MindMeister. Anybody who was there yesterday, MindMeister was a kind of a mind map or a concept map software that's web-based, and until we get the ability to do Prezi, you may want to consider this. I didn't have time to show you that, but there's a tutorial right there that'll show you how to work on this kind of stuff. So that's that deal. The other place I wanted to remind you about is guides.baker.edu/edtech. And this is the way it looks right now. It is going to be a little bit different by the time we get the fall quarter. Along the left here are all of the contact people in our department. This is my information, my email address, and my phone number to my desk in case you need anything else from me or there's some way I can help you out. If anybody's interested in seeing other types of apps that are out there that are available that you might want to get some training on, eventually we're going to split this app tab into web-based apps, which are the things that we can use on the computers and iPads that are owned by Baker College inside the classroom right now. And there's going to be another one called mobile device apps, and that's for people that have their own devices, either staff or students that have their own devices and would like to know what else is out there. So all you're going to have to do is click on that. You get a drop down and you're going to have some little pictures or images of what the apps look like. I'm going to have about a paragraph description for each one of those, so it's going to be a lot more detail than it is here. This was just a test as we were building the page to get approval from the powers that be that we wanted to go ahead and do this and get any input as to how they would like it laid out and everything. Okay, so just wanted to show you that. So now let's get into a little bit more of a conversation. So first day of class, what are we going to be talking about the first day of class? Those of you that are already in these types of technology rooms, I'm sure you got rules and regs from Dr. Cody and Eric Davis and anybody else who has told you what to do about connecting things and putting them back in the cart. And I don't know if you're signing them in, signing them out. I don't know what's going on there. I have nothing to say at all with that. That supposedly has already been explained to you. If not, go find somebody who has used those rooms in the summer quarter and get some help from that. I'm not going to be able to help you really there or hooking anything up to any of the projectors or any of that because I haven't even been trained on that stuff in that particular classroom, and every room is different. So let's talk about first day. I think as part of that process, I believe there's a few things that you want to make sure students are aware of. Number one, you want to remind them that when they're done using something, when they're done using an app or whether they're done using a website, to close out of those, okay? And probably the fastest way to do this is to actually that home button, which is that kind of circle down on one of the short ends of the device. If you're standing at the device is looking at you, you're facing the front of that device, there's this little inset kind of circle that would be down along one of the bottom short ends, and that's called the home button. Anytime you're in any particular screen anywhere and you want to get back to the front screen, to the home page, you just hit that home button. Now if you press it twice in rapid succession, you're going to get a shot of every single window or app that's open right now, and there should be an X up in the top, I think it's usually left corner of each one of those, and you just click the X, it'll close all those down. So it's really important that you have everybody close all of those down, close out of everything before they shut down for the day. So remind them of that. Bookmarks. There's when you actually have the iPad on, and let's say you're in a website, or you're using Safari or something like that to actually go somewhere in a website, you're going to find that on the menu bar on the top, over to the left, there's what looks like an open book, like the left side of the pages and the right side of the pages. If you touch that with your finger, that's actually an icon for bookmarks. And just like you would bookmark something, you are searching for something on your computer and there's frequently accessed sites, you would bookmark them so that way you don't have to type www dot whatever, right? It makes it a little faster for you. You can just click right on it and zoom right to it. We're actually going to build a number of these things that we had talked about, like Socrative, Poll Everywhere, some of these other ones we were talking about, Dropbox, Google Drive, those types of things. We're actually going to put those in the bookmarks for you, so there'll be a little less typing in that regard. You can just get to the login page right away and go ahead and log in or sign in or whatever you need to do. So make sure you take a look at that when you guys get your devices starting with the fall quarter. Also, the cloud. I want to remind you about the cloud. The little bit of training that we did on the couple of apps, there weren't that many things where we had to actually utilize the cloud, but you may find as you learn other ways to do some of this stuff, especially if you get into things like mind maps and whatever, the safest way, or one of the easier ways to always get stuff off the devices, is find some type of button on that particular application that gives you the ability to share. Sometimes it looks like it's a little curved arrow to the right that's inside a box. Other times you'll actually have a share button. And if you press on that, you usually get a couple of choices. One of them is email. Sometimes you can send it to Dropbox or to Google Drive, or share with various people, and it just requires an email address to be plugged in order to do that. But remember the concept of the cloud. Utilizing something like Google Drive or Dropbox is important, because once these machines are turned off, anything that was saved on there is going to be gone. You're not going to be able to go back and find it. So any assignment that's not submitted by the end of class, you've got to get it off. The student has to get it off into either Google Drive or Dropbox. So before you get to assigning things there that they cannot complete on the spot, you want to make sure that they know about those two accounts. They're both free. Dropbox is the easier one to use. Many of them may already have a Dropbox account. Please have them get at least one of those, if not both of those, okay? So that's the cloud. So that's your first day. Other things to think about first day: relax. You're not going to be changing a lot of things that you already do. What I would do is look for one or two things that I might be able to do using any of the things that we talked about. If you want to use Socrative, that's fine. If you want to use Poll Everywhere, if you want to combine the two of them, if you want to, actually you could create a Prezi yourself at home and then go into your account on the computer on the desk there, and you could actually show Prezi on the first day of class, and hopefully by the time we get you guys ready to rock and roll for class, we'll have a Prezi app. But right at this exact moment, as I'm recording this, they just updated Prezi last week, and currently you are not able to view or create a Prezi on a mobile device without actually having the app. So I'm trying to get that one set up for you guys for fall quarter. So just relax. There's not a lot of stuff you're going to do. If you have one or two early successes, both you and your students, this is going to go a lot smoother, okay? So here's the guides.baker.edu. That's actually a place where you're going to be able to get to that ed tech content. I just want to show you one other thing as far as, well, hey, what am I going to do with these things? Well, first of all, I think it's very simple. You need to, if you want students to use these devices, it only makes sense in 3 places. And that is if you want them to create something, collaborate on something, in other words, work together as a team or a group, and then investigate or do a little research. So in order to do that, there's actually every single program at Baker College, does not matter the program, the library has built a research guide, which is a great place to start to get some ideas for topics and content that you might need in order to get to a research paper. So if you actually go to guides.baker.edu, it pulls this up and you can get access to librarians, you can ask them questions. They have some particular guides out there if you're in the writing area. APA help, as you can see, there's probably not a program here that does not have a guide. Then once you get into some of these, you actually can look for special topic guides, guides for courses. So as you can see, all of these particular course lists here, there's actually guides for courses. So you can, if you're teaching CRJ 261 security management, there's already a research guide for that. And there's all kinds of ebooks, there might be videos, there's journal articles that are already pulled for you. You don't have to do the heavy lifting here. So make sure you identify those things to your students and make sure that if you're trying to look for or think of something to do with them, with those particular devices, so they can get comfortable using those devices, nothing at all wrong with getting them started on something like using the library research guides to start doing a little research, doing a little investigation on some of their work. Okay, some other things to think about here. It's not about the tech. Just because you have this stuff, if you can't teach, this isn't going to help you teach. You have to already know how to teach. You have to be thinking about that learner-centered instruction model. You have to be thinking about a flipped classroom approach, where when you get to the classroom, you don't want to be doing a lot of talking as the faculty. You don't want to be doing all kinds of lecturing. You want to have the students actually engage right away, and the technology can actually help you do that. So then that takes us to the last thing that I want to talk to you about, and that is the particular apps that I showed you. So the first one, polleverywhere.com. Hopefully you already have your account. I think this is, as we said before, this is a great idea for a formative assessment. One of the best things I think you can do with it is to create maybe a poll that is something along the lines of, here's a list of 3 or 4 topics that I know students sometimes struggle with, and you have that ready for break. You can put it out on the screen at break time when you give them a break, so they can respond with what area is still fuzzy for me, or what area am I still not totally understanding, before you go on to new material in the afternoon. There's no sense going on new material after your break or in the afternoon or later on in the evening if it's a night class if they still don't get what you're doing there. So polleverywhere.com, that's one of those nice tools that you can use that for. One of the issues about polleverywhere.com, though, is that you can have as many questions as you want, but each time you have a question, you got to relaunch a new poll. So if you're going to have 1 or 2, 3, that's okay. But if you're going to have a bunch, or you kind of want it as, maybe you like to have a quiz right when students get there first thing, you might want to consider using Socrative, and that's the one that we tested a lot, those of us that did the training. Remember, you got your teacher login situation once you've signed up. Students don't actually have to log in. All a student has to do is go to m.socrative.com, and then they're going to, oops, it helps if I type it correct, does it not? And so this is what they're going to get on their screen. All they have to do is enter their room number. If you remember, there was a room number that was created for you once you created your account. It's a 6-digit number. Once you give them that, they key that in on either a computer or any type of mobile device, key in that 6-digit number, hit join room, they're already there. We talked about Prezi, but as I said, it's a little iffy as to whether or not we're going to be ready. So I want to show you this other one real quick, and you can go and get my tutorial where I showed you. This is the MindMeister. free mind mapping software, so you can create various types of diagrams, things like org charts. It's actually a great thing to do for research. You put your topic in the middle and then have all of these branches out there. Like one of them might be history, and then break that down a little bit deeper. Another might be trends, and you can break that one down a little bit deeper. The free version here only allows you to have 3 pieces. As you can see, this works with Google Drive, so that's a great place to store it once you're done. But you can only on MindMeister's site have three mind maps going at the same time. Once you get to 3 for the free site, they're going to try to get you to pay more money and sign up. You don't have to do that. Just delete one of them, or 2 of them, or 3 of them. I mean, if they've already served the purpose, get them out of there. Email them to yourself, store them in Google Drive in case you have to build them again, but do not mess around with, having, oh my God, only got 3, there's nothing else I can do, okay? So just relax, have fun. You guys got access to my contact information. I will be around during the quarter to help you out. Do not hesitate to ask. Good luck to you. Have some fun.